bringing you the latest news from Monterey Athletics. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the High School Fan Zone here on 100.7 The Score, TSportsNetwork.com, and the mobile app, brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. And we will go to the Plainsman Fan Zone, and we're talking more baseball. And we have a full house tonight. We have head coach Ralph Ramon. We also have senior Kannon Peters and pitching coach Tyler Rekieta. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. 5 scrimmages wrapped up. Coach Ramon, I'll start with you. What have you seen out of the scrimmages that you guys have played?
Well, there's one thing I know for sure is that we'll fight. I mean, they've all been pretty cold. So we'll get out there and grind. And we scrimmaged Midland High last week in some pretty chilly weather, and our kids were ready for it, and they're down for it. So I do know these kids will fight, whether it's hot or cold. We're ready to go, and we're excited that the scrimmage season's finally over, and these things start counting for real. But overall, just through scrimmage season, we've pitched pretty good. We could defend it a little better. Our bats are a little slow right now, but that's always the case early in the season. Pitchers are always ahead of hitters. We just got to keep grinding and keep getting those swings in practice, and I think we'll be okay.
Kannon, I'll go to you next. You are a senior this year. When you look at individually things you wanted to work on as a player from last year to this year, what were you focused on?
Just setting a higher standard this year. Mm-hmm. We went 3 rounds deep last year, 3 rounds deep the previous year. Hopefully we can crush that and go 4 or 5, make it.
And you're one of the seniors now on this year, so you're one of the leaders and one of the older kids with some of the new guys that are brought up on varsity. Do you guys talk about the run you went on last year with them at all, from player to player?
We talk about it occasionally. I think they already know where our standards are. So player to player, not so much, but yeah.
Coach Rekieta, you are the pitching coach there for Monterey. You're looking at the arms. How would you evaluate where the arms are right now, and where do you need to get to from here?
Yeah, so I think this year it's a pretty fun challenge we had. Last year we had some guys, they could stretch the innings and get up there, 6-7 innings for us and pitch. And this year, kind of platoon style, we got 9 or 10 arms that we're really excited about. And they throw strikes, they throw the off speed and the changeup. So, we're excited about what we saw these first few scrimmages. And KP here had a pretty good outing against Friendship. So we're excited about what our seniors bring. And we also have some young guys on the mound for us that pretty impressed with this last week. So, pretty excited with what we got on the mound for us.
If I have this right, you guys are, I believe, replacing a lot of starters from last year pitching. What kind of challenges, come with that whenever you're going from kind of the known to maybe the unknown?
Yeah, definitely replacing a lot of innings from the last 2 years. These guys, I've kind of grown with them the last 2 years in the sub-varsities and going to see what they do, and now it's their time. So that's what we're excited about, and they definitely have different attributes that they bring. They've got that swagger and that it's my time. I want those innings. So that's what's exciting, because it's hard to get them off the mound sometimes. Be like, hey, it's time. We got to move on to the next guy. Next guy's up. So that's what we're excited for this year.
Coach Ramon, if you're just doing a broad description from the characteristic side of this team, how would you describe this year's squad for Monterey?
Big time chemistry, and that's one of our first goals as far as a team goes. Is if we're together and we're all in for the same reasons, we're going to win a lot of baseball games. And these guys have each other's backs, thick and thin. These guys are all buddies on and off the field, and they get along so well. And that can make a team dangerous as long as they got each other's backs and they're willing to, as they say, go in a dark alley with each other and rumble if they have to. They will, and that's what it's about. As long as we're together and we're all headed towards the same common goal, we're going to win a lot of baseball games.
All right, Kannon, you're in a dark alley, and you're in a 2-on-2 fight. You're one of them. Who are you pulling from the team?
RJ. He has the most grit. I don't know. He always wants to hurt somebody, I feel like. He's a great guy, though.
I do. That's a great segue into asking about chemistry. So, Coach, as a staff, you want chemistry to be throughout the building and throughout the culture. Is that something that you guys try to manufacture, or is it you have to let it do its own thing?
No, we definitely. When I first took over the head job, that was one of the things that I kind of wanted just to put a focus on in our program, was just to be a family, and that's players and parents and coaches alike. If we're all, like I said earlier, if we're all striving for the same thing, we're going to be a very good program, and that's how we approach it, and that's what we talk about. We have meetings. When we go to tournaments, we have this thing called the safety seat, where we kind of just share some stories. Some are fun and laughable, but then some will share some stories of adversity. And if you just know a little bit more about your teammates outside of the fence, you grow. And we do that, and we just make sure that we're together and we love each other, because that's what it's about. Everybody's told when their last inning is and their last pitch is, but you have those friendships for life, and that's what it's about. So we take care of that, and like I said, we can go a long ways as long as we got each other's back.
Yeah, Kannon, when you're in those kind of private times with the team, you don't have to get into anything specifics, but like as a player, what does that mean to you to see the team kind of be honest with each other and maybe go into some deeper stuff?
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's just team chemistry. We have a lot of trust with each other. We create special bonds that way, and we don't hold it against each other either. We just see like the goodness in them from that, and then just come closer and just be a team.
You guys can be honest here. Any tearing up?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to cry.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a softie, I'll let them flow.
Yeah, I would think as a staff, do you guys ever sit back, and I'll go with you, Coach Rekieta, when you're seeing like those emotional moments, how much do you guys think in the time, like this is something, 4 or 5 years, I might be thinking about this specific time right here, watching these guys talk about serious stuff?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't remember every out I ever made or every hit, but I remember all my buddies throughout, my time playing baseball. And even back to when I was in high school, Coach Ramon was one of my coaches. And when I kind of got into coaching, people like Coach Ramon are the reason why I do it. It was pretty cool. I, was trying to find a new job and just kind of out of the blue get a phone call from Coach Ramon. Just, hey, bud, heard you're looking for a job. We got a spot here at Monterey for you. And that was 3 years ago. And, I mean, I've loved it ever since. So, I mean, like the relationships and the people you meet and get to know along the way, end up mattering a lot more than what the scores were at the end of the day.
We're going to go from that when we come back from this break, and we're going to look at your time there to Cannon's time here and maybe some similarities, and then we'll start diving into some games too because, hey, it's a season opener this week. Absolutely. It is the High School Fan Zone here, 100.7 The Score. Back with more next.
Diving headfirst into Monterey athletics. You're listening to the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
It is the High School Fan Zone here on 100.7 The Score. It is the Plainsman Fan Zone portion as we're talking Monterey baseball, and we have head coach Ralph Ramon, senior Kannon Peters, center fielder Kannon Peters, not just pitcher and first baseman, and also pitching coach Tyler Rekieta. And Coach Rekieta, we'll start this segment with you because we were talking about your time there at Monterey. You're a Plainsman grad. When you look at the teams that you were on, especially your senior year there, to what this year's is there any similarities from like the chemistry side and maybe the friendship of the roster side from when you were there to this year's team?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my time at Monterey, I played with the same group of guys. We had 18 seniors, and we played basically from the time we started playing baseball till we ended, over 10 years ago. Some of my great buddies that, I've known my whole life and played. And looking at this year, I've been a part of Monterey now for the last 3 years. And, I mean, I've seen a lot of these kids grow and the friendships. And, I mean, it's really cool what I think about to happen with this group because they had a big senior class above them. And, now it's these – we have, I think, 4 or 5 seniors this year that, are going to get a lot of innings, and they're the leaders. They've seen how it's done, and now it's their time to, continue that legacy because, like we talk about all the time, one of Coach Ramon's big things is DTRT, do the right thing, and this group of seniors, really buy into that and really make sure that those young kids know that, like, we're going to do the right thing, and we're going to take care of the M and take care of us. And so I'm really excited for what these kids get to do in the next few months.
Kannon, when you hear things, like quotes from Coach Ramon or Coach Rekieta, how much of that do you guys repeat as players? You guys use those or you just take them to heart?
Oh, yeah. We take them to heart, and we repeat them almost every dang day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's our motto, DTRT. And we start practice saying that, end practice saying that. And there's one major one that Coach Rekieta had last year think it was right at the beginning of playoffs. He said, burn the boats. He told us a cool little story about something, and then I don't need to get into it. And then he just said burn the boats, and it stuck with us the rest of that playoffs. And I brought it up the other day. That's how we were going to end practice that day. Everybody just started laughing. So, yeah.
It was very cool. Coach Ramon, I always like to do this with the head coach, the self-projection. Had Coach Bibb do it earlier, and Coach Giannis did it just a little bit ago.
Man.
When you go, picture yourself, it's at the end of district play and hopefully starting a very long playoff run for you guys. What do you think the strength of this team will be?
I definitely think we're going to be pretty good offensively. Mm-hmm. I said earlier we're just not quite there yet, but we are taking good swings at the ball. We're not striking out a ton, and it's going to happen. It's going to come. Hitting's always late, like I said. These guys put in the time. You got to kick these guys out of the cage at times, and we get a little frustrated at times when we share a facility with our softball program. So when it's those guys or those gals, time to hit, we always get a little upset. Our guys do, because we have to get out. So these guys grind in the cages and at the plate, and they compete, and that's 90% of the battle, just competing. We always talk about it's a war between you and him, and that's all you need to worry about, and just win the war. And if we can win that war for 7 innings each hitter, we're gonna win. We're gonna win some baseball games. So I think we'll be pretty good offensively. Pitching's gonna come. Like I said, we're not returning a lot of innings, but we have a lot of guys that know how to pitch, that are pitchers, and they're not just throwers. So that'll come. Coach Rekieta has done a great job with the staff we had last year to the staff that we have this year, and those guys have gotten better and better every week, and ready to see those guys perform in live action. Defensively, we're kicking it around a little bit, but that's, again, it's a whole new set of kids. So there hadn't been many reps just because of what we graduated last year, but they're fighting, and they own up to their mistakes, and they're willing to get better, and they just keep grinding every practice. So it's all going to come together. We just got to be patient.
With this, some newer faces and graduating a lot from last year's team, how much of the lineup and roster spots is set? Is there any major battles and stuff going on right now?
Kind of right now, not really much of battles. I think we have a good idea of where people are going to go. As far as lineup goes, we just tried some different things in our past few scrimmages, kind of moving some people around. But that'll come as well once we hit live action and keep giving those opportunities out. And that's what it's about. And just take advantage of your opportunities. And if not, it's the next man up. And that's just the way it goes. I wish I could play 18 on the field, but I can't. You can only play 9 on defense and 9 in the box. And we're going to find those 9 on both sides of the ball. So those kids are ready for the challenge. They understand the expectations, and they understand that they got to keep going and keep fighting.
We're going to take one more break. When we come back, all of those 9 are going to be in action at the Central Texas Classic for the season opener this weekend. We'll talk about that next, and eventually get to some district talk as well. It is the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Monterey sports. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
One more with us here on the High School Fan Zone. You're in the Plainsman Fan Zone portion as we shine a light on Monterey athletics, and we're talking baseball. Head coach Ralph Ramon, senior Kannon Peters, and pitching coach Tyler Rekieta. Coach Rekieta, let's start with you. You will start the season this week. From your arms, what are you looking for over the next couple of weekends as you start with tournament play?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for, just consistency, throwing strikes. Our first few scrimmages, we were really good, like every arm on top of it, and then these last few, just too many walks. It's really just cost us, in the long run. Just giving up free bases is never something you want. So these first few weeks, just put it over the plate, just be consistent, and just control the game from there. Like Coach Ramon brought up earlier, you got pitchers and throwers, and we definitely want pitchers. We want guys that control base runners, control counts, and just kind of control the pace of the game. And we got guys that can do it and guys that have done it. So I'm excited for them, to develop in those roles for us.
Kannon, you'll be in one of those roles, and let's start with on the mound, as you're going to do quite a bit for your team, but start on the mound. What's your focus this weekend?
First pitch strike, every at-bat. Feel like if I get ahead of the batter, I'm going to win it. If I start off a little bit weak, I can come back, but You always want to start off with that first pitch strike. Get you ahead of the batter. He doesn't know what you're throwing next. He's just going to be guessing. And then you have that upper advantage. And then just throwing a lot of strikes for my team, pop-ups, ground-outs, anything that'll do it.
All right, I was going to just put you in a situation real quick. So you are in a game that you need one strike to win. It's full count, bases loaded. What pitch are you throwing?
Slider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What pitch do you want him to throw?
Fastball.
I don't know. He's kind of worked in a cutter in his little rotation the last few weeks, and I'm pretty impressed with that. That would have been my answer had he asked me.
Coach Ramon, what are you looking to see out of your team here in these first few tournaments before you get into district play?
Just the fight at the plate, the fight on the mound, defensively on the base path. We kind of have an identity of small balling a little bit, just executing that stuff, and we run the bases like all scrimmages. We had just to kind of set that mentality. We always give our guys 3 pitches or less to steal, just so we can set that tone of being aggressive on the bases. If we have ground balls that go grass, dirt, grass, we're trying to either score from second or first to third, whatever it is, or a hustle double. Just being aggressive on the base path and putting pressure on defenses. Because if you're moving around the field quickly and with some intensity, you're going to put some pressure on defenses, and that scares them a little bit. But we got to do it the right way. But just mainly just fighting, just having that grit and that toughness about them, because that's baseball. There's a lot of failure in the game, and you just got to be tough mentally to overcome all of that. So excited to watch them play, and they are a tough bunch, and can't wait to see them lace it up and get after it.
I'll ask this question to all 3 of you. You have 3 weekends of tournament play, and then your district opener is against who else but Coronado. Yeah. Do you guys like starting off with a rivalry 2-game set, or would you rather it be later in the season, or anytime, any place kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely, especially with a crosstown rival like Coronado. Coach Bibb does a great job with those guys. They got us twice last year with their horse, Jared Owens, and he got us twice last year, and he was very good. And so they got our number. So we're looking for a little bit of redemption along that line. But nothing better than facing those guys right off the bat and just to start district play.
As just a fan from the outside, I saw that. I was like, oh man, your guys' district is loaded again. As what else if it's new, but it's massive this year.
Yeah.
Coach Rekieta, what do you think of the district from this year to think about the district that you played in?
I think it's pretty similar.
Yeah, it's
correct.
It's pretty close.
So we also played that same, weekly series against opponents. So when Ramon brought that up about them changing that, I was all for it. Adds more of an excitement each week. Like this is the opponent we got, and we play them Tuesday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday. So I'm excited to put that wrinkle in it, especially with the larger district. I mean, every week matters. There's not just an easy week that we're going to have to go into. So. Always excited to get to start with Coronado. So,
yeah.
Guys, appreciate your time. Great insight. Good luck this year. We'll talk to you plenty as the season goes on, but good luck this season. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thanks for having us. Appreciate you.
This has been the High School Fan Zone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back with Randy Rosetta on Wednesday night as we take a look at Friendship, Lubbock Cooper, and Liberty. You can catch us right here on 100.7 The Score. And a reminder, if you ever miss your favorite program and your favorite school, you can always find them on TSportsNetwork.com, isolated in their own episodes. I'm Clint Scott for Randy Rosetta and for all of our coaches saying thank you. We'll see you on Wednesday. It's been the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.